When I was a child, I remember going to the beach with my family almost every day because it was near to our house in Santa Marta. One of my favorite activities, like many other locals and tourists, have always been diving into the ocean to see the coral reef full of fishes. Thanks to this, I was able to witness the great biodiversity that exists there and the amazing colorful landscapes that they conform. It is unquestionable that the coral reef has been constantly bleaching over the years due to pollution, irresponsible tourism, and climate change. For this reason, I worry that the coral reefs are going to disappear in the near future. There is a great variety of reefs on the coasts of the world. These are home to 25% of the known marine biodiversity. Its importance lies in the protection of our coasts in stormy seasons. Therefore, it helps to minimize the impact of erosion by the waves. Also, it provides food and work to many of our coastal communities in the world. Today, one of the main reasons why coral reefs are dying is because of the use of sunscreen. According to a study carried out at the Yucatan Scientific Research Center, up to 14,000 tons of sunscreen are released worldwide in coral reef areas, and some of these contain up to 10% oxybenzone, posing a risk of bleaching for approximately 10% of the world's coral reefs and up to 40% of coastal reefs. Now, you might be asking yourselves, if this is made for protecting your skin, then why is it a dangerous substance? Well, this white cream is a mix of chemicals that are harmful to our coral reefs, especially the nanoparticles of oxybenzone that seal the polyp's pores, causing the bleaching and death of these organisms. An important cause to this problem is the lack of knowledge that exists about sunscreen's effects in the marine life and the deficient regulation for these negative tourism practices. In response to this situation, seaponji was created initially to protect the coral reefs of Santa Marta from the harmful effect of oxybenzone particles, and it's hoping to expand all over the world's coasts in the near future. But what exactly is seaponji doing? They're installing an artifact that has the structure of a buoy and it's anchored 12 meters away from the coast. It is divided into three main parts. The upper part that contains air allowing it to float. The center part that contains a biotechnology that biomimics the filler function of sponges, and the lower part that consists of a compartment where the chemical collected is stored. So first, in this process, the untreated water enters through the pores of the device. Then, it passes through a set of canals with the help of tangential flow. This means that the liquid sample flows parallel to the filter, and with the help of some flagella, it attracts the water in one direction and allows the filtering process to be more efficient, until it reaches a group of nanocameras where the sunscreen components are separated from the water. This filtration process would be carried out by modifying the metabolic path of E. coli so that it can be able to filter and synthesize the chemicals and derivatives of benzophenone. But, as we know, this is a long experimental route, so we decided to divide the development of the project in a series of phases. Right now, we are working with the first phase using layered graphene membranes which have an atomic size. When these are disconnected in certain sections, it generates filtering pores for capturing nanoparticles of benzophenone according to their diameter. Once the chemicals are separated, they will remain at the bottom of the structure in a compartment to later be removed by a person of the community who will be given a certification course of diving and management of this structure. Meanwhile, the treated water is released onto the sea from below. This project brings lots of benefits. For example, it contributes to reducing these pollutant substances from the water, making marine life healthier. Furthermore, multiple opportunities are generated for the local community by training them and then offering extra jobs as chemical collectors of seaponji. On the other hand, By protecting the coral reef, the health of the ecosystem grows, which leads to greater productivity that will later benefit both fishermen and the tourist sector of Santa Marta. Also, for the material of the device, we take into account several marine activities that can occur while the buoy is working, such as the tourist swimming to the buoy and laying back on it, the anchorage of little fishing boats, and some recreational activities. This is in order to protect not only the artifact from crashes but also keep the people that come near to it safe. That's why we chose a plastic called PEEK, a material that has high resistance to abrasion, can be recycled, and has high impact resistance. The life cycle of that material and the functional components are long. However, to prevent any problem with the parts of the structure, it has periodic revisions programmed. Also, it's necessary to clarify that after the chemicals are removed from the artifact, the substances will be recovered. These are subjected to a cleaning process to eliminate possible impurities. Then, they're kept and distributed to the cosmetic industry as an auxiliary material for their products. For example, brands like L'Oreal, Avon, and Mary Kay use low percentages of sunscreen compounds to make hair dye, shampoos, and mascaras due to UV protection. In this way, seaponji's cycle is ready to begin again. We are aware that every creation has impactful consequences on the environment, so our team thought about what kind of impacts our artifact can have. First, we identified that not only the structure can disturb the fauna and marine vegetation, but also we are aware that the carbon footprint of the production of the material is very high, so we plan to use recycled PEEK instead of a brand new one. Also, after its useful life, the buoy will be recycled for the building of new ones. Second, there is the possibility of benzophenone and other chemical leaking, and that can produce mild irritations in the skin of swimmers nearby. Finally, it's important to say we don't have a total control of the uses that it could have in the industry, but we are proposing an initial parameter. However, the project contributes to the gradual recuperation of the marine habitat, especially increasing the growth and development of corals in the reef, boosting the number of the fishes in the area. Besides, the fishermen will have more opportunities to improve their profits and maintain the local economy stable. With this same process, these advantages can be applied for the local communities who live near the coasts around the world. Finally, we have to say that right now we are looking forward to develop a prototype to establish the volume of sunscreen components that the device could collect over a certain period of time, in addition to calculating the amount of air necessary to keep our device floating. We still have a long way to go, but we are working very hard to achieve it. Seaponji.